All right, guys. So, right. Uh, we're gonna go ahead and get to our last technique of our back mount sensor. So before I show anything cool, as is tradition with my last class of any semester, I always open the floor to Q&A if anybody has any sort of troubleshooting you want to do. So anything, maybe a technique I covered that you're like, I don't quite understand that thing, or a problem you've encountered when in the back mount. What if they do this? What if they do that? So on and so forth. So just before I show anything cool, you guys have anything that you guys want to talk about? Any issues you wanted to address as far as being in the back mount?
Just a quick question.
Yes.
So, say you have somebody in mount and they're trying to, roll and get out of it. Is there an opening where you can slide your leg underneath here and take their back?
So sliding the leg underneath might be well, okay, sort of. I'll go into. Let's just talk about that. So I'm in the mount. Let's get your head facing the top here. Thank you. Okay. My best route to the back mount, if they try to do, like, say, an elbow escape, or they try to do a big trap roll, is always going to be the technical mount. That's going to be my best approach to getting
and the knee pillow pulling back.
Knee pillow pulling back,
okay.
Right? So he's here, and let's say, even if he gets the arm trap, so let's say, John, you did a big bridge, and you got my arm down, and then you went to bridge me that way, I would step up and float. You're going to drop your right hip, yeah, perfect. So I end up here. The big key in this is like to sort of float your hips. The mount position, and when we get to, well, actually we already did the mount, so eventually we'll get back to it. The big key, I think, in general in the mount is thinking about it's a position that is, you want to kind of surf your opponent. The more that you try to, like, you'll see people that go like, the best way to hold the mount is this. And then it's like, yeah, but what about this one very obvious glaring flaw in that way that you're holding it? Well, then I do this. Okay, well, what about this obvious glaring flaw in the way that you're holding it? Well, then I do this. So you don't just do anything in the mount. You either, you're trying to stop them from trap rolling, you're trying to stop them from elbow escaping. It depends on what it is they're presenting. So I want my hips to be kind of like heavy but then light, heavy but then light. I want mobility, essentially. Okay. Anyway, once I get here to this technical mount, I'm going right into my knee pillow situation, right? So, we've worked this a bunch.
Okay.
Here, right. I can also, one of my favorite things that I like to do to people from the mount situation to get to the back exposure, because this is important to understand. If I could just get this across him, I have a back mount. I mean, basically every time. Like, if I could just get this arm across his chest and get some pressure, I can force that situation.
Okay.
Right? If you think of like an arm drag from guard, right? Imagine the mount is being reverse guard. If I get that arm across the chest, it's like pretty high percentage back take, right? So the way that might end up happening is, let's say that I was going in for like a cross collar choke or something, and he starts bringing these hands in to defend. So I punch that elbow across the center line and start firing in almost like an S mount. Turn him over, start attacking.
So from that technical mount, like the knee pillow, you could go to S mount if things start going the other way.
Yeah, it's a little, the transition from technical mount to S mount is a little finicky, but it's definitely there. I mean, it's a very similar position. The big key is always going to be that bottom elbow, okay. Right? Like in the sense of here, let me turn you this way, please. Let me get you on your side. If I can get this leg underneath, then I'm essentially in an S mount. The problem would be if, let's say, and real slow, John, you're trying to turn to face me, right? It's like, as I try to make that transition, am I going to have the control over this shoulder, right? He might try to escape his hips and get that elbow down. So, or shoulder down, and then the elbow would follow. As far as what you're saying in regard to taking, like, sliding my leg